Have you ever, walked into a massive sports bar on game day and you look up at, I don't know, 20 different screens all perfectly synced? And you just think, how in the world are they pulling this off without a single glitch?
Yeah, it definitely seems like magic. Or, well, a completely tangled nightmare of cables hidden in a closet somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But today, we are doing a deep dive into a really detailed product page from HDTV Supply to tear apart an actual piece of professional AV gear.
We are looking at the WolfPack 4K 8x8 modular HDMI Matrix switcher.
Right, which is a total masterclass in how professional systems operate on a completely different level than the consumer tech we use at home.
So our mission for this deep dive is to basically uncover that invisible infrastructure, right? The stuff that bypasses physical cable limits and, keeps those screens alive when everything goes wrong.
Yeah, and we should probably unpack the core function first.
Okay, let's do it. So I was thinking about this. An ordinary HDMI splitter, the kind you or I might use at home, is basically like a megaphone. It just shouts one video feed out to every room in the exact same way. Right, it's just a dumb broadcast.
Yeah, but this 8x8 matrix operates more like a highly trained traffic cop. You can send any of the 8 inputs to any of the 8 outputs independently, creating these totally isolated circuits instantly.
And you can have 8 different screens showing 8 different games, or all of them showing the exact same one. But the really crazy part is the sheer quality being routed through that switchboard.
Oh, wow. What kind of quality are we talking about here?
Well, it handles true 4K resolution at 60 frames per second. And that includes full 444 color chroma sampling.
Wait, let's break down that 444 spec for a second, because I know that's where graphics usually fall apart on the cheaper setups, right?
Absolutely. So it basically means the system is not compressing the color data to save bandwidth.
Oh, so every single pixel gets its own data?
Exactly. Every pixel gets dedicated color information. That is why team logos and, those lower third broadcast graphics don't look muddy or bleed into the background.
Right, right.
And when you pair that with the 60 hertz refresh rate, you get this incredibly smooth, blur-free motion, which is absolutely necessary if you're tracking a hockey puck or a fast break in live sports.
Okay, so that makes sense for the quality, but we all know standard HDMI cables tap out pretty quickly. I mean, you try pushing 4K past 25 feet and the signal just completely falls apart.
Oh yeah, it just drops entirely.
Right. And looking at the back of this chassis on the product page, I don't see massive schools of specialized fiber optic ports. I just see these modular, slide-in, hot pluggable slots. So how is this bridging a 200-foot gap in a giant venue?
Well, what's fascinating here is the magic inside those slide-in cards. It uses HD-based technology.
HD-based, what does that actually do?
So unlike traditional HDMI cables that send raw video streams that degrade over physical distance, HD-based T actually packetizes the video data.
Wait, it turns the video into data packets.
Yes, exactly. It transforms that pristine 4K signal into a format that can travel over standard CT6 Ethernet cable, the exact same twisted pair networking cables used for office computers.
Okay, let me get this straight. It breaks the video down into data packets, fires it across the building over a standard network cable, and then just reassembles it at the stream.
Yep, without losing a single pixel. And by using these extended HD-based T cards, this matrix pushes that uncompressed-looking 4K signal up to 220 feet.
That is wild. It completely bypasses standard HDMI limits.
It really does. But sending the signal is only half the battle.
Yeah, that's my main hang-up, actually. Because sending it across the building is one thing, but what about the endpoint? Like, if I route a 4K Apple TV into an old 1080p monitor in the back room, standard HDMI usually freaks out and drops the signal.
Right, you just get a blank screen.
Exactly. So how does this single matrix box not just completely crash when it tries to talk to 8 totally different types of TVs at once?
That is where advanced ED management comes in.
ED.
Yeah, ED. Think of it as a digital handshake between the video source and the display. It communicates the exact capabilities of the screen.
Oh, okay, I see.
So instead of letting the source device panic when it sees a mismatched TV, the matrix intervenes. It presents a consistent spoofed profile to the source.
Oh, wow. So the source thinks it's always talking to the perfect monitor.
Exactly. It never forgets its settings or drops the audio. It totally prevents those dreaded black screens during channel switches.
That is incredibly smart.
It is, but spoofing the display profile only works if the box actually stays powered on. If a power surge blows the main supply, it would take down every single screen simultaneously.
Which brings us to the dual redundant power supplies built into the chassis. That is mission-critical failover protection right there.
Precisely. If one supply dies mid-Super Bowl, the other instantly carries the load with zero downtime.
That is the invisible lifesaver. So what does this all mean for you listening? I think it shows that professional AV isn't just about plugging things in, it's about modularity, robust fail-safes, and overcoming physical limitations.
Yeah, the next time you look up at perfectly synced screens, you will know there's a digital switchboard orchestrating it all.
Exactly. Which leaves us with a final provocative thought to chew on. As professional AV systems rely more and more on routing video over standard Ethernet cables like CT6, will traditional HDMI cables eventually become entirely obsolete in our own living room?